Hey, what's up everybody, Nexel here. Today we are playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross and we are going to be talking about the September 16th notices today. So we've got quite a few videos lined up along the way. We have to talk about KR21, we're also going to do a stream for the Cloud event, and then we're also going to do a stream for the Rama event. So keep on the lookout for those coming up within the next few days here. But for today, let's talk about the September 16th notices. Starting with the weekly Jewel Extravaganza notice, which is actually pretty cool this week. I'm actually going to be buying VIP on my main account for this. So the first one is going to be a VIP quest for the Argyle Mini Snuggly and 1400 jewels. So keep in mind that this is on top of the 3000 you get just for buying VIP. So that's going to be 4,400 jewels coming your way. The Supernova Kingdom Hearts 3 Lich is going to be one of the free medals that's offered with VIP. And it's one of the few medals that comes with reverse medal strength buff. So we are looking at medals like Kingdom Hearts 3 Xemnas, we are looking at the Lich, and then we are also looking at Kingdom Hearts 3 Xion. And I believe those are the only ones. I gotta double check, but I feel like those are the only ones. Everything else gives like upright or a certain attribute. So it's a very limited tech right now, but don't worry, if you're not VIP, it's usually just VIP gets it a little bit earlier, and then they introduce something later down the line. I'm expecting something like a Kingdom Hearts 3 Xion 10 Mercy banner to be released early next month, but we'll see how that all works out. But just know that this tech, while it seems very limited to VIP, it will come to all players later down the line. For VIP this week, you get all the Tsum Tsum medals, which is actually pretty sweet. The Tsum Tsum medals were a few medals that were released, I think, about 2 years ago, and they had some very awesome things about them. They had a very unique special attack, and I am actually looking forward to this part of the VIP. I'm actually looking forward to it on my main account, because I really wanted this Sora and Riku Tsum Tsum medal, but we'll talk about those when we get to those. Next for VIP, you're getting 15 Tier 9 dual Meow Wows, and that is enough to bring 3 Tier 9 medals to Supernova Plus, which is becoming the new standard as strength caps go higher, and you need to be dealing more damage. So this is 3 Tier 9s that you're bringing up to Supernova Plus. You're getting 100 Speed Gems, 10 Power Gems, and 10 Magic Gems, and this alone compensates for the entire value of VIP. But keep in mind that while this is a really good deal for gems are getting a lot easier to obtain nowadays through like events, through certain quests, so it's actually getting pretty easy to obtain enough gems to get your Keyblades up to level 35, but this is a good boost in case you're part of that extra tier that wants to go just a little bit further, increase the damage output of certain Keyblades a little bit further. But just keep in mind that if you don't buy VIP, there are a lot of ways of getting gems nowadays that don't involve actually paying money. Next up on the VIP list, we are going to be getting a Balloon Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora Spirit part. Again, I don't like that these Spirit parts, especially the ones with the like Chibi, Sora, Riku, and Kairi, are locked behind VIP. I definitely think those should be available to all players, just personal opinion there. You're getting some Blue Fairies, some Magic Brooms and Magic Mirrors, the farmable Chip and Dale quest, and then the farmable Mega quest where you get all these experience medals and evolve medals. So pretty decent VIP this week, and what makes it particularly unique is gonna be this Tsum Tsum medal thing. So let's go over it really quickly and talk about the Tsum Tsum medals. So if you buy VIP, you are going to get four Tsum Tsum medals that are all unlocked as Supernova Plus. So they already come ready right out of the box. You're also getting 5 traits for each of them. That's pretty spectacular if you ask me here. So let's go ahead and hop down to the actual Tsum Tsum medals and talk about the medal details. So first of all, these things are super cute. When they came out, one of my best buds pulled a lot attempting to get that Sora and Riku. Unfortunately, we just did not get there. She did get a gilted copy of the other 3 though. But for VIP this week, you get all of them Supernova Plus. They should all already have their special attack bonus unlocked. So these medals are just super cute just to start. Alright, let's go down the line here. So pretty much the Pooh and Pals, the Mickey and Minnie, and the Tsum Mickey and Pals, they're all pretty much clones of each other with the exception of the attribute which they buff the metal strength for. So looking at the Pooh and Pals, it increases power metal strength by 300. Looking at the Mickey and Minnie, it boosts speed metal strength by 300. And then looking at the Mickey and Pals, it boosts magic metal strength plus 300. Now I know that's really not a lot, especially for today's meta where you have things like Ultimate Form Sora running around, where you have Kingdom Hearts 3 Kyrie B running around, the new foretellers that more often than not increase a metal's, I think actually all of them, increase certain metal strength by 1500 or 1000, somewhere along those lines. So 300 really is just kind of a drop in the bucket, but again, this is really more for collecting purposes so that you get all of the possible Tsum Tsum medals, especially if you miss that event. So there were a lot of limited time events back in the day, so I don't know if VIP is going to be how they give these medals back to people. The other one that I'm thinking of is the World of Final Fantasy medals, which are actually really, really cool. But yeah, just looking at these 3 medals, back to the Tsum Tsum medals. So they deal 6 hits that ignore target's attributes, so very similar to Ultimate Form Sora, where you're always dealing that super effective damage no matter what enemy you're facing. So let's say we're using this Tsum Puan Pals against something like a blue copter fleet, which is a magic enemy. Even though the Puan Pals is a power medal, which should be weak to magic and not doing effective damage, because of this effect that ignores target's attribute, it will be doing super effective damage regardless of the typing. So really having this super effective damage thing the ignore attribute thing is more so that you have Keyblade setups where you kind of have more versatile medals where you can do more damage. So that was kind of a weird wording. What I mean by that is you can go into a fight against a magic enemy with a power setup, and then if you have this Tsum Puan Palace, you're going to be doing super effective damage when this medal activates. So it's just more like a variety kind of thing, and it gives you more versatility. If you're locked to using one Keyblade type, you're able to get that super effective damage regardless of the enemy type. So it's a pretty sweet ability. The big trade-off, and again, these are really just for collecting purposes, is that they're super weak. So look at that maximum strength. It's 20,041, and by today's standards, that's literally 66-ish% of the amount of damage that the highest damage dealing medals can do right now. So that's really, really low. On top of that, it's only tier 8, so we're already at tier 10, so really you only want to be looking at tier 10s and tier 9s at this point, minus Kingdom Hearts 3 Kyrie A and HD Xion, which are both tier 8s. And then the damage multiplier for them, it's just not a lot. Again, these medals really aren't for damage when it comes to the first 3. Now let's talk about the last one. Supernova plus Tsum, Sora, and Riku deals 9 hits that ignore target's attribute. For 1 turn, increases magic metal strength by 1,000, and then for 2 turns, increases self-buffing, increases strength, upright strength by 10, and decreases target's defense and upright defense by 10. I really like this medal. I really like this medal for a lot of different reasons. First of all, super cute. It's super awesome. Second of all, it deals 9 hits that ignore target's attribute, again, giving that super effective damage. Thirdly, it deals 9 hits. That's a lot of hits, and there's nothing on here saying it doesn't affect enemy counter. So these are 9 hits that are capable of hitting enemy counter, and when it comes to things again like recovery buffing where you want to stack those strength buffs, that can be a lot, especially with this past speed, the Swift Speed, what is it called? The Swift Striker event. You saw me doing some weird setups in order to get that counter down. If we had extra attack on this Tsum, Sora, and Riku, not only are we doing super effective damage no matter which setup we're using, but we're also dealing 18 hits towards that blue counter, and that is a lot of hits, making it very easy to switch into a recovery buffing strategy for that event. So 9 hits that actually do affect counter can be very, very meaningful depending on your strategy. Not only that, but it actually comes as a tier 9. So again, we're only really looking for today's format at tier 9s and tier 10s, minus those few exceptions as tier 8s, but it is a tier 9 medal. Its multiplier is pretty weak, sitting at a 50.73 after the special attack bonus kicks in, but it's got a lot of tech in it. The maximum strength, again, is not very good, and because of the high gauge cost, it's very likely you're going to have to put something like attack boost 10 max gauge 1, or even like attack boost 8 max gauge 0, something like that, just because of that high gauge cost, making it, unless you have multiple damage and raids traits and then no extra attack, it's very hard to make this a raid medal just because of the sheer gauge cost of it. So 5 gauges again is a lot of gauges, especially if you have extra attack on it. But all in all, I really like this Tsum, Sora, and Riku. I can still actually see it being used in today's meta. So this is really the only one I think that survives. Magic metal strength plus 1,000, while it's not super great, when you think of something like the Ava medal that gives metal strength plus 1,000, Tsum Tsum, Sora, and Riku gives the same amount specifically to only magic metals. Yes, it does have less tech than Ava, and yes, it does do less damage. But that ignoring target's attribute, this is the only good upright blue metal in my opinion that has this, and then it's just a really solid tech. I think it's really good. And not only that, but its supernova attack also gives you upright metal strength plus 1000, so that's another solid tech, and it's just so good. I really like it. I definitely think Sora and Riku has a place in today's meta. Granted, again, it is not as good as certain things like Ava or even Envy, but it's got a very solid place because of that currently unique ability to ignore target's attribute for upright blue. So it's definitely a good tech in my personal opinion. Alright, moving on to the avatar parts, the Snuggly gives you item drop perk plus 6, and that's going to be all for our talk about VIP. Again, I'm very excited for this VIP, strictly because of that Tsum Tsum metal thing that they've got coming for us. Moving on to the last thing, which is the Supernova Deal. You get one pull only, and you get a guaranteed tier 8 to tier 10 metal that can be upgraded into Supernova Plus. So again, you only have today to do this, and here's a list of all the metals. So when you look at these, really the only ones you should be chasing after are going to be the Ava, the Envy, the Ventus, and the Kyrie B. Everything else is good to an extent, but it's just falling out of favor in comparison to what's coming out. So out of 12 metals, there's a solid 4 metals that you're really looking for. Keep in mind you do get VIP coins, and you're also getting a tier 9 dual Meow Wow, which makes it pretty easy if you're unable to get those tier 9 dual Meow Wows to just get a free one right here. So let's hop into our draw odds for the banner. And let's head down. So I looked at the general part already. Unfortunately, you can't get an additional new supernova medal. It really only goes up until Kingdom Hearts 3 Roxas. But again, that gives you some leeway. So you can get things like Blitzform Sora. You can get things like Angelic Amber. You can get things like a Kingdom Hearts 3 Roxas. So even though these supernovas are getting kind of old, they still have a good spot in the format today as tier 9s that have sometimes unique abilities. So while you can't get any of the newer ones, don't disregard the old supernova medals because they still sort of have a place in today's meta. But moving on to the guaranteed section. So this is the part that threw me off, and this is what I sort of forgot to allude to earlier, was that while it should have been an even split, they don't even split it. So the tier 10s have a lower chance of dropping than any of the other ones. So I should just want to make that quick correction that I mentioned earlier. I said they were all split down the middle, but that's actually not true because the supernova ones, the supernova tier 10s, have a lower percentage. So when we actually crank out this math, let's see, 4.13 plus 4.13, and then the other two that we're looking for are going to be the Kyrie B, which is 8.26 plus 8.26 for the Kingdom Hearts 3 Ventus. So realistically, you have a roughly 25% chance of actually getting something good. So while it should have been split right down the middle, the game decided to be a little bit greedy, make the tier 10s a little bit harder to get, and then that leaves us at a 25% chance of getting something you want. So realistically, before you pull on this banner, you should be asking yourself, would I be happy if I didn't get something that I wanted? Because you only spend 3,000 jewels, you're getting guaranteed VIP coins, which can go to a trait towards a foreteller, and you're also getting guaranteed tier 9 dual Meow Wow. So if you got one of those 8 medals, again, a 75% chance of hitting something bad, would you be okay knowing you only spent 3,000 jewels? Now, we are on my free-to-play account, which again is referred to as my Rage Pull account, so we're going to go ahead and kind of see what our luck is looking like. So here we go. Let's see if we can strike gold with one of those tier 10 foretellers, which is roughly only about a 10% chance. But even if we got the Kyrie, I'd be happy. Even if we got the Ventus, I'd be happy. Everything else, it's like, I only spent 3,000, so I can't be too upset. So we start off with a tier 7 reverse. I don't see any upright ones. And it looks like the one we got is Young Master Xehanort. So that is the guaranteed medal that we got. So we did not hit one of the tier 10s. We just got a regular Kingdom Hearts 3 Young Xehanort. So kind of use this to your advantage. Kind of think about, is it worth pulling, knowing that there's a 75% chance that you might not hit what you want? And when you think about 3,000 jewels, yes, it's only a small amount. If you hit one of the foretellers, that's awesome. But that could have been 3,000 jewels that went towards a Mercy banner that could have gotten you a foreteller within 5 draws anyways. So just keep that all in mind. You know, nothing's really particularly guaranteed when it comes to the Supernova banner, minus those coins and the tier 9 dual Meow Wow. But take it as you will. If you want to gamble it, by all means, it's your jewels. And if you hit gold, like, again, a solid 10% chance, one every 10 people is going to be getting a foreteller with those odds. You know, just take it as it is. And if you get it, congratulations. If you don't, it's only 3,000 jewels, not too bad. But with that being said, that is the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if there are any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and I'd be happy to answer when I have the time. But as always, everyone, until next time, take it easy.